It is currently 4:45 a.m. on the 18th of November, 2024. Uh, I want to go back specifically to a date that I did not prepare, that I needed to prepare, that I knew I wanted to prepare, but I didn't before recording this. So hold on a second. I'm prepared, I promise. Meg is gonna have to do a lot of editing for this. Okay. Um, I want to rewind to the 3rd of February of 2021. I believe I was still 19 at this point, and I had recently gotten a game called Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. And I remember this fateful night. I was playing Quick Match, trying to get better, knowing I was never going to, and I randomly got in a lobby with probably one of the most annoying dudes on this planet. And from that night forward, I met one of my best friends. Probably the closest best friend that I have today. I remember it was like a month or two after that we met. This motherfucker calls me and he's like, yo, are you busy? And I'm like, I'm a little bit busy, I'm on a date. Crazy. And he's like, well, crazy idea. I kind of need to move from Tampa to New York. And I'm like, whoa, that's a big drive. When are you doing this? And I mean, he's like, I need to do it tonight. Like, I need to leave, like, tomorrow. Like, this happens now. And he's like, shit, well, good luck. Like, that's gonna be a hell of a drive, you know? And he's like, well, I have a bit of an issue. What's the issue? I don't have my driver's license. Tell me, Adam, how the fuck are you gonna drive from Tampa to New York without a driver's license? That's where Chaotix, that's where you come in. And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean I come in? Would you be willing to drive from Tampa to New York in a U-Haul? Now, don't get me wrong. I love speeding. I love driving. I love going fast. That's the type of motherfucker I am. But at this point in my life, I had never, ever driven so fast in felony speeds in my entire life. At this point, he's like, I have a flight. I have a flight that leaves in an hour. Can you catch it? I looked at the girl that I was dating at the time and I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And I zoomed. I flew past red lights. I flew past the speed limit. I remember that drive and I'm calling my roommate at the time like, hey, yo, like real quick, I need you to drive me to the airport in like T-minus 10 minutes. All right. Thankfully, he was willing to do so. I had only met this motherfucker I knew this motherfucker for a month, and he flew me out to Tampa, and we had one of the best adventures I've had in my entire life. It took us 2 days to get there, and hopefully Meg has pictures on the screen right now of our adventure. It took us 2 days to get there. When we eventually got there, I helped move his stuff into his new place in New York. It was fucking freezing, like negative fucking weather. God, I hated it, but it was fun. I remember a very key memory was when I was walking down the road with Adam. We dropped off the U-Haul, and we're the darkest part of Queens or whatever, and we have a Wendy's cup. I had a Wendy's cup in hand because we had recently gotten Wendy's. It was just so fucking freezing. My hand was fucking freezing. It was so cold that I had to ditch the Wendy's cup. I was like, I'm so sorry, bro. Here, I'm leaving you here. I have to put my hand in my fucking pocket. But yeah, this man took me on an adventure. And then a year later, he called me back. And he's like, hey, yo. And I'm like, hey, yo, what's good, bro? I need to move from New York to Tampa. I need to move from New York to Tampa. And yeah, and I'm like, and this was like the 28th of December. It was like a couple of days before the New Year's, and he's like, I'd like to do this with you again. Let's just plan it ahead, and we'll do it sometime after New Year's. And I remember just being on the phone and thinking, what is this man doing? Who the fuck do you think I am? You think I'm gonna wait for this? I told him straight up, why are we not doing this now? And he said, gee, shit. And I said, get me a flight tonight from here to New York, and I'll just start driving tomorrow morning. Once again, this man flew me out. Here's the funny part about this time, however. I told him, I am leaving. I need to leave from Fort Lauderdale International. And I remember it's like 8 p.m. I remember he was like, here's your ticket. He sent me like an email, and he's like, here's your ticket. I look at the ticket, and he was like, Adam, why does it say Orlando International Airport? This fucking idiot booked a flight for the wrong fucking airport because he's a fucking idiot. But you know, I said, no, that's okay. This is still happening. This has to happen now. So I quickly looked up the next bus drive, like the next public Lynx bus or Flixbus, whatever. I don't fucking remember the name of it. But the next Greyhound, there you go. The next Greyhound bus to leave from Fort Lauderdale International to Orlando. And it was 9 p.m. at this time, and the bus left at midnight. So I remember quickly gathering my things, telling my parents, hey, yo, this is happening. And they drove me to the airport. They weren't happy, I'll tell you that much. They drove me to the airport, and I got on the bus, got to Orlando International 4 hours later, and took the flight to LaGuardia. I remember this journey very well. Specifically, this was my first time going into Orlando International, and this was before I worked there for Homeland Security. This was my first ever experience at Orlando International. And I'll be honest, this moment very much influenced the way I would work there. Because when I got there, I was like 30 minutes. It was like 30 minutes before my flight, and I looked at the queue to get in through security, and it was like 3 hours long. But the one queue for pre-check, TSA pre-check, was completely empty. I know now he wasn't supposed to do this, but I went over to present my identification at TSA pre-check, and he's like, this line is for TSA pre-check only. And I'm like, I understand, I know, I apologize. However, I just got here from South Florida. My flight leaves in 15 minutes. I need to get through immediately. He's like, he looks at me, and he's like, looks at the thing, he looks at me, looks at the thing. All right, here we go. And he takes me through to the next line over. He's like, check his shit again, get him through security. And I learned on later, a couple years later, when I when I ended up joining HomeSec, that he wasn't supposed to do that. But yeah, I remember just rushing to security, running to my gate, and flying all the way to LaGuardia and stepping out in that fucking hellish inferno of freezing cold again. But I did. And once again, we drove for 2 days through New Year's, by the way. All up and down, from the north all the way down to Tampa. And he flew me back. We ended up doing this road trip again the next following year, and at this time I was working for Homeland Security. And what was funny is at this time we were planning to go on train. This time it wasn't like anything big. It wasn't a whole moving thing. I didn't have to drive a U-Haul, you know, like the previous 2 times, but this time it was just simply so that he can get paperwork from like some kind of, like, I think it was like his birth certificate or something from the state of New York that he needed, so that he can get his driver's license, so that maybe he can fucking drive himself for once in his goddamn life. But we had that journey planned out, and we were supposed to go on train, and this time his boyfriend would join us, and it was gonna be fun. It's gonna be a 24-hour train ride. It was gonna be great. We were actually planning to stream on the train, which is gonna be really funny. But I remember the day before, Adam calls me. He's like, "Hey yo," and I'm like, "Hey yo." He's like, "We have an issue." And I'm like, what fucking issue do we have now? He sends me a link to this news article, whatever, and he's like, there was a train derailment in Union Station in Washington, D.C. And any departing trains from any station on the East Coast on that same railway south of Union Station were closed or canceled or whatever. And that included our trip. And I was like, you motherfucker. You son of a bitch. So I'm expecting this to be canceled or postponed or whatever. I'm like, so what are we going to do? He's like, well, we can't postpone because we have an Airbnb set. And he already has an appointment, I think. I think he had an appointment, whatever. So we were like, let's just drive. Can you find a rental car at the airport? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can find it. There's an entire floor dedicated to rental cars, you know? I go to 5 different fucking rental car agencies. None of them let me fucking get a rental car. Because of one rule that they all fucking had for some reason, which is you can't be a local and rent from them, which was stupid. I understand because the industry and whatever, fuck you. But stupid. And we ended up taking Jordan's car, I think. Yeah, we ended up taking his boyfriend's car. And this motherfucker was more insane than me. See, for 2 trips, one going up, the other coming down, I drove a U-Haul for 2 days. This motherfucker drove 22 hours straight, both ways, going up and going down, in his car. I don't remember what car it is. I'm gonna be so honest with you, Chief. It's some random sedan. I'm sorry, Jordan. I can't remember. I'm gonna shit on it later, but this motherfucker went insane. This is more insane than I am. I remember we got pulled over coming back to Florida. We got pulled over because he was going 90 on the highway. I don't know why I told you this. I'm gonna be so honest with you, Chief. But the point being, I've had a lot of experiences with this man. From the moment that I met him, whether it was fate, it was destiny, I don't know what the fuck it was God or just sheer coincidence. but I'm absolutely happy that I met him. Being his friend, dealing with him being so fucking annoying sometimes, I would rather suffer his annoyance than not know him at all. He's a great friend. He's special, both ways, like in here and actually special. He's loyal. He understands. He's very understanding, somewhat immature. A little bit out of touch with the current situation politically. However, I love him regardless. If you're ever down, this is the man that you want to talk to, you know? He'll always find a way to make you smile. He'll always find a way to make you laugh. He's fun to be around when he's drunk, but you also should be drunk. Because if you're sober, you're gonna be dealing with him as well. I'm sorry, Jordan. We got kicked out of the fucking club because he threw up on the fucking dance floor. Oh, this motherfucker. So, the reason I'm recording this, on November 17th, 2000, this motherfucker was born. And this world would be so much darker. My world would be darker without him. Adam, I fucking love you, bro. Happy 24th birthday. I love you. You've been there from the start. You've been there from the beginning. You've been here since we began. And I cannot wait how far we can go. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you when you go to Georgia, I'll admit. I'm gonna miss you when you move and chase your dreams. I know we don't even see each other in person that often, but just being that close does have some sort of availability. But I know that you want to chase your dreams, and you absolutely deserve it. You autistic fuck. And I know you have the talent for it too. So, I don't have a drink. Why don't I have a drink? Let me get my gallon of milk. However, I would like to say that he still owes me a date with whatever female he knows, because he promised he would if I passed this level on Escape the Backrooms the first time we played it around. And he said if you make it to the end of this specific level or whatever, because we were all dead, if you make it to the end, I'll get you a date with a girl. And I'm still waiting, bro. It's been more than a year. I'm still waiting. Anyway, this is better than liquor. Cheers to, or a toast to your dreams, toast to where you're going, toast to where I'm going, toast to where we're going together. And I can't wait to see how far you go at SCAD and whatever else you do. I know you have other plans besides, or like beyond SCAD and afterwards. And I will admit I'm a little bit scared that it'll be farther away from me, but I'm very happy that you're gonna get to go. So, cheers. Happy birthday, bro. I love you. Happy birthday, Adam. I love you, man. Everyone say happy birthday to him. in the comment section if you can. I'd really appreciate it. Or just DM him or whatever. He definitely should get a shout out. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.